Standard template library, or in short, STL. So what is STL? That is Standard Template Library. Standard Template Library is a powerful set of C++ template classes to provide general purpose classes and functions with templates that implement many popular and commonly used algorithms and data structures like vectors, list, queue, and stacks. So the STL is vast and heterogeneous collection of the reusable container classes. It consists of vectors, list, queue, and stack, and it is portable with various operating systems. Now, STL, that is Standard Template Library, is divided into some parts, mainly divided into three parts: container, algorithm, and iterators. All these parts can be used for different programming problems. So, algorithms, how to write algorithms, I think all of you have idea that how to write algorithms. That is, it start with start and end with end or stop, and there will be some steps that you have to follow. There are different types of algorithms: sequential algorithms and decision making algorithms, loop structure, and all those things. And here algorithm act on containers. So an algorithm is a technique that is useful to handle the data stored in container. They provide the means by which we will perform initialization, sorting, searching, transforming of the contents of the container. The standard algorithm are defined in the header file. If you are using any standard algorithm, then you need to add the header file into your program, that is #include within angle bracket algorithm. Now similarly, another one, containers. Containers means a container is an object that contains data or other objects. The standard C++ library has a number of container classes that allow a programmer to perform common tasks. These containers support generic programming and can be used for handling data for different data types. All STL container classes are declared in namespace STD. Now, there are two types of mainly container classes: sequence container and associative container. So sequence container are created to allow sequential and random access to members. The associative container allow access to their elements through key. Now, associative sequential container means list, vector, GQ. These are the example of the container for sequential container, and associative container means map, set, like that. So another one, function. The STL includes classes that overload the function call operator. Instances of subclasses are called function object. And last one, iterators. What is iterator? An iterator is an object. It exactly behaves like pointers. It indicates or points to data elements in a container. It is utilized to move between the data items of containers. Iterators can be incremented or decremented like pointers. Iterators link algorithms with containers and handle data stored in the containers. So, these iterators are used to step through the elements of collection of objects. These collections may be container or subset of object. Container. Now, all of you have idea of array. Array is a collection of similar type of data, and also you have the concept of vector. So, what is vector? Vector here is actually normal in array. Elements of array are stored in successive memory locations. Okay, array are stored in successive memory locations and can be accessed in order from element number 0 onwards. The vector class exactly acts like an array. The vector container class is secured and efficient than array. A vector container class is accelerated to allow quick access to its element in sequence. It is faster than array. It is defined in the header file within angle bracket vector. If we are using any vector, then you have to include the header file. A vector is able to enlarge itself. For example, suppose a vector declared for 5 elements. If assigned 6 element or 7 element, then the vector automatically grows its size so that it can hold the 6th or the 7th element. And what is list? Any idea? List is the container that allows usual deletion and insertion of item. So, anyone have any idea about what is stack, what is list? Anything?
Dynamic memory allocation.
Memory allocation actually, they are in data structure. In data structure, you can assign value into the stack and queue. So, you have any concept of what is stack, what is queue, what is list? Stack actually follow always LIFO mechanism. Okay, I just one. So stack actually follow LIFO mechanism. LIFO mechanism means last in, first out. Stack follow LIFO mechanism, that is last in, first out. It means actually the structure of the stack means it is bottle-like structure, that is one side closed and one side open. Always you have to enter data one by one, and you can delete the data only the top element in case of stack. That is the last element that you have entered into the stack, that only you can delete using pop function. Normally, there are two functions, push and pop. Okay. Actually, this is the concept of data structure in stack. To insert data inside the stack, we are using push function to enter the data one by one, and to delete the data, always in case of stack, only deletion possible in case of the last element. So here we say that stack follow LIFO mechanism, that is last in first out. Similarly, queue follow FIFO mechanism. Okay, FIFO mechanism. FIFO means first in first out. First in first out. It means the element that you have entered into the queue, that to be deleted first. So always in case of queue, we enter the data at the rear part, and in the front section we delete the element one by one. So it follows the line, that is, in a ticket line, who stand first, she or he will get the ticket first. So queue always follow FIFO mechanism, that is first in first out. And list, similarly, what is list? Normally list are different type. I just say that what is list. List is a container that allows usual deletion and insertion of item. A list is a sequence that can be accessed bidirectionally also. It is defined in the header file. If you are using the program of list, then you have to include list. Here I just give you the concept of queue, but actually in STL there is a concept of the vector, list and DQ. So DQ means it is similar to multi-ended vector. It has ability like vector class to perform sequential read and write operation. DQ means double-ended queue. It means it allows front-end and back-end operation. DQ are perfectly appropriate for the operation that contains insertion and deletion at one or both ends, and where sequential access is essential. So, just how to use standard template library. For that, I am just show you example of vector, because you have the concept of array and then also define vector. So if vector acts as a container, then some of the function that we can use with vectors, these are pushback. Pushback is the member function that insert value at the end of the vector, expanding its size as needed, and the size function display the size of the vector. The begin function returns an iterator to the start of the vector. The function end returns an iterator to the end of the vector. So here also you get some more functions that you can use in the vector class, like swap function. Swap function swap the elements in the two given vectors. So similarly, pushback, there is a pop back. Okay, there is a pop back function that erases the last element. Okay, pop back erases the last element, and erase function erases the given element. Okay, so I show you an example of vector. So in this program, I'm using the concept of vector. So actually, the use of standard template library is the program size can be decreased using standard template library. So here I am using the header file vector. So all the functions that we are using that available inside this container, that is vector. Now inside the main function, one minute, Shayon Das. Okay. Original elements. after erasing the sum of the value, just display. So this is the program. SQRT is the mathematical function, so we have to include math.h. Okay, so we have to include math.h header file. K was not declared, so int. Now, when we run the output, original element 2.2, 2.4 like that. So, using this output, I will explain. Here, I am using the concept of the vector. So, here, within we are using standard template library, and here I'm using vector and the data type float. E is the object. Now cout dot precision within bracket 2. Cout original element. Original element for integer k equal to 5. Here you can start the value of k from any number. Here 5 means E dot call the pushback function. Function of pushback in vector is it enter the element into the vector. So pushback within bracket square root of k. So square root of k, value of k 5. So square root of 5 is 2.2. Next, increment the value of k by 1. Now value of k equal to 6. So call the pushback function and square root of k, that is 2.4. In this way, you will get the square root value for 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. After entering the data, here in line number 15, I'm using vector, then within angle bracket float, scope resolution operator, then iterator. Under iterator, IR equal to E dot begin. Begin means pointer points to the first element of the vector. So, IR plus 3, comma, IR plus 5. We want to erase. We want to erase using erase function. You can delete the element. So here I am using the square root of 5 to 12 are stored in the object E. In this program, E is the object and it is object of the vector. So it is capable of storing different floating type of data. The square root of 5 to 12 number, that is up to 11 because less than 12. So square root of 5 to 12 numbers are stored in the object E. The erase function that we are using in line number 16 erases fourth and fifth element. Okay, erases fourth and fifth element. The variable IR is an iterator. In line number 15, the variable IR is an iterator and it gives reference to the element. The erase function can be used with one or more arguments. Here I am using one argument. Not normally here I am using generally two arguments, but you can use with one argument also. The last for loop, that is line number 19, display the element after using erase function, that is deletion. So the element after erase, first after deletion, just using side function, we get the size of the vector, then S contains the size of the vector. So element after erase k is equal to 0, 0 less than whatever the number, then E within array bracket k. So it will display the first element, then second element, like that. So again, I run the output. So 2.2, 2.4, 2.6. After 2.6, 3.2, 3.3. Because here in erase function, I write IR plus 3, comma IR plus 5. IR plus 3 means the fourth element, comma IR plus 5. Though it is 6 element, but you erase the first two elements, that is fourth element and the fifth element. So the first element, second element, third element, fourth element. So delete 2.8, then fifth element, that is delete 3. Then after deletion 2.8 and 3, you will get the result. So this is the output. Now I give you some idea how to use standard template library using vector. All of you just go through the code and if you have any problem, then again I will explain. So all of you understand the program? So here I give you what is and give you the concept of container. That is a container is an object that holds data or other object, and algorithm is a process that is useful to handle the data stored in containers. The STL actually consists of more or less about 60 standard algorithm that give support to perform frequent and primary operations like copying, finding, sorting, merging, initializing, and the iterator. Iterator is an object. It is treated as a pointer. It indicates or points to data elements in a container. It is utilized to move between the data container. And the standard C++ library has a sequence of container classes. Sequence container hold data element in a linear series. We know that arrays used to store similar type of data. The data elements are stored in continuous memory location. The container class vector is same as the array. A vector is a container class which allow quick access to its element in sequence. In our example, if it is the example of array, normally here we can able to delete the element from the middle of the list, that is middle of the vector. But normally in case of array, we delete from the last or like that. So a vector, using vector is better than array. Vector is a container class and it is faster than array. And list also is a container that allow a programmer for usual deletion and insertion of item. Similarly, in case of vector, we are using different function. For entering data, there is a function of pushback and begin function, end function, and all those things. For erasing, erase function. Similarly, in list, you have different type of function that you can use, like clear function. It erases entire element. Empty function, which determines that if the list is vacant or not. Begin function, which provides that is reference to the first element. End means it reference to the end element of the list, and so on. So you get just some of the concept of standard template library. So do you have any query regarding standard template library? কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে ইয়ে নিয়ে স্ট্যান্ডার্ড টেমপ্লেট লাইব্রেরি? Okay. So you have no question. Now we covered all the topic in C++. So from the starting day, from day 1 to till today, do you have any query about the different topic and all those things? That is inheritance, polymorphism, and class, constructor, destructor, and all those things. So do you have any query? কোনো কোশ্চেন নেই কার? Okay. Then I ask some questions one by one. Yes, just based on this 6-day lesson, whatever you have learned, Obi, then based on this, you just try to give the answer. It is also, you think, as a revision session. Okay. So we revise all the chapter one by one based on some questions. So what is always, we write the program as hash include iostream.h, iostream.h in case of Turbo C++, and using, if we are using suppose C++ or code block, then we use hash include iostream, then using namespace std. So what is hash? Always also you are using hash include stdio.h in case of C programming language. So can you tell me, anyone, what is the meaning of why we write hash, or what is called hash sign? Because always the first line begins with hash.
Ma'am, hash is the preprocessor directive.
Yes, hash is a preprocessor directive. Why we are using preprocessor directive?
To declare the library function.
Yes, actually we are using hash include as a directive, okay, which tells the compiler to include the header file iostream, here in our case iostream.h, which will be used for basic input output. That is, we are using in our program main function cout and also cin in some program. So preprocessor directive actually start before the compilation. Okay, preprocessor directive always preprocess before compilation. It just checks whether you have included all the functions, main functions, object, and for that you have to include the particular header file like that. So always you have to include, before include we give hash, and this hash sign is called preprocessor directive. Now when there are a you have the concept of local variable and global variable. So when there are a global variable and local variable with the same name, how will you access the global variable?
And by scope resolution operator.
Yes, correct. So when there are two variables with the same name but different scope, that is, one is a local variable and the other is a global variable, the compiler actually give preference to a local variable. So in order to access the global variable, normally we use scope resolution operator. Okay, I give you an example. Actually, already I show you the example using scope resolution operator. Suppose integer x equal to 10. We are using main function. Inside the main function, suppose integer x equal to 20. Now, if you print the value of x and next you print the value x using scope resolution operator, then for the first case, that is for first cout, 20 will be printed because inside the main function integer x equal to 20, here x is a local variable, and when you are use scope resolution operator, for second one we get the answer for x 10. Okay. So Deepanita or Moumita, anyone tell me what are extraction operator? What is extraction operator? Extraction operator and insertion operator. We are always use extraction operator and insertion operator into our program. So what is extraction operator and what is insertion operator? কেউ আছো? দীপান্বিতা, মৌমিতা, মৌমি, আকাঙ্ক্ষা, anyone? Always we are using with cout this type of operator. So this less than that we are used with, yes, it is called insertion operator. Okay, it is called insertion operator or another name put to operator. And this greater than simple, yes, extraction operator or get from operator. Next, what is an inline function? Because already today also we discussed inline functions, and we also we have done some program of inline function. So what is inline function? কে বলবে? প্রাঞ্জল, অভিষেক কুমার, anyone? All you have the concept of inline function. So all of you know what is function. So what are the difference between function, normal function and inline function?
ম্যাম ইনলাইন ফাংশন এক্সিকিউশনের স্পিড বাড়িয়ে দেয়, এক্সিকিউশন টাইমটা কমিয়ে।
হ্যাঁ, তাহলে ইনলাইন ফাংশনে কি হয় অ্যাকচুয়ালি?
বেসিক্যালি একটা কোনো ক্লাসের ভিতরে আমি সেখানে ফাংশন ডিফাইন করতে পারি।
হ্যাঁ, মানে ইনলাইন ফাংশনে যেটা হয়, ফাংশন কল হলেও কল ফাংশনে কন্ট্রোলটা যায় না, জাস্ট কল ফাংশন ওই পয়েন্টে জাস্ট কপি হয়ে যায়। দ্যাট ইজ ইনলাইন ফাংশন ইজ আ ফাংশন that is compiled by the compiler as the point of calling the function, and the code is substituted at that point. Okay, the code is substituted at that point. This makes the compiler faster. These functions is defined by prefixing the function prototype with the keyword inline. Generally, for small function, we are using inline function concept. Such functions, what is the advantage? That is, when the code of the inline function is small and simple, then execution time is less. But always you have to remember that although a function is defined as inline, suppose it is a function, any function, you just before the function you mention it inline. So always it used as a inline or not, like that. A function is defined as inline, it is completely compiler dependent to evaluate it as inline or not. Compiler only decide whether it treats as inline function or not. So this is the concept of inline function. Now, what is reference variable? What is reference variable in C++?
ম্যাম যে ভেরিয়েবলটা কোনো অবজেক্টের ক্লাসের অবজেক্টকে পয়েন্ট করে।
হ্যাঁ, সেটা তো রেফারেন্স হিসেবে ইউজ হচ্ছে। নরমালি রেফারেন্স ভেরিয়েবল অবজেক্টকে তো রেফার করছে। অ্যাকচুয়ালি উই আর ইউজ রেফারেন্স ইন কেস অফ কপি কনস্ট্রাক্টর টু রেফার এনি অবজেক্ট। ইউ আর কারেক্ট। সো অলসো we use reference variable. A reference variable actually is an alias name for the existing variable. This means that both the variable name and the reference variable point to the same memory location. So whenever the variable is updated, that is, the value of the variable is updated, the reference is updated too. Without using function, I show you an example that suppose integer x equal to 10 and integer ampersand m equal to x. Cout value of x and cout display the value of m. For both case x and m, the value will be same. Here m is an alias of x or m is a reference variable of x. Similarly, in case of class and object, if we use any reference with object, then the same object referred, like copy constructor. Okay, in case of copy constructor also we are using the concept of reference variable. Now you have the concept of structure. In C you have learned what is structure, how to declare structure, and in C++ also you get the concept of class declarations and all those things. Now there are some difference. So can you tell me the difference between class and structure?
ম্যাম ক্লাসের মধ্যে ডেটা হাইডিং ফিচার থাকে, মানে প্রাইভেট মেম্বার থাকে, কিন্তু স্ট্রাকচারের মধ্যে প্রাইভেট মেম্বারস থাকে না। আর স্ট্রাকচার বেসিক্যালি ভ্যালু প্রোভাইড করে, আর ক্লাসের ক্ষেত্রে সেটা রেফারেন্স দিয়ে করা যায় পসিবল।
আর মেম্বার ফাংশনও আমরা ক্লাসের মধ্যে দেখতে পাই, ডিফারেন্ট প্রপার্টিজ আছে। সো
স্ট্রাকচারে সব পাবলিক মেম্বারসই থাকে।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ। So in C language, the structure concept, from the structure concept we know that it is consists of the different data type. The variable inside the structure are called member of the structure, and in case of structure, these members are by default public and can be accessed by using structure name followed by a dot operator and then member name. And in case of class, the declaration of the class is similar to the declaration of the structure. But in class, we are using some other concept, that is in C++, it extends the structure definition to include the functions that operate on its member. Okay, here we include the functions that operate on its member, and by default all the members inside this class are private. If you do not declare any access specifier, then all members use as a private. So this is the main difference between class and structure. Otherwise, the declaration of the class and structure are same. Always end with semicolon. Then you have to declare the object for class, and also you have to declare the structure member and all those things. The main difference is by default public in case of structure and by default private in case of class. So what is namespace? Today you learn that what is namespace, and also you write always using namespace std. So what is namespace? আজকে নেমস্পেসের একটা প্রোগ্রামও করেছো, just create the namespace and also we use the keyword using. So what is namespace? Namespace allows us, actually namespace is like a folder. জাভা তোমরা হয়তো জানো না এখনো, জাভাতে প্যাকেজেস, জাভা যে অবজেক্ট ওরিয়েন্টেড প্রোগ্রামিং ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, there is a concept of package. Inside the package you can store different sub packages, classes and all those things. In Java there are more concept of other than class, that is interface and all those things. Similarly in C++, namespace is like a container. Inside this container you can store the different type information of the different type of classes, different type of object, functions and all those things. Namespace allows us to group a set of global classes, objects and functions under a specific name. Suppose in our example today that I gave you, that there are two class first and class second. Inside this two, there are two namespace, name of the namespace first and second, and inside this two namespace I am using the same function, that is the display function. Now inside the display function you have to write something or perform some operations. So there are some functions, so under which function you have to call, that you have to decide. So if it may be possible that same function defined in different namespace, but the function contents are not same, so which function you have to call, that depends upon the namespace. So always use the function using namespace, scope resolution operator, then function name, or you can use the using keyword, then using namespace, then the name of the namespace. Then inside the program you can use this particular namespace. So this is the concept of namespace, which allows us to group a set of global classes, objects and functions under a specific name. Now question number 8, it is very easy, always all of you give the answer, that is what are the various access specifier in C++. Pritam Rai, bolo. Pritam Rai. What are the various access specifier? Pritam Rai, Pritam Kobiras, who is present, they can tell me. You know.
Public, private,
Private, public, and
protected.
protected. So you just describe what is private access specifier, what is public access specifier, and what is protected.
In public access specifier, it is accessible for outside the class, and in private it is only cannot be accessible for the outside the class, and
It is only
protected.
accessible. Bolo protected.
It cannot be accessible by outside of the class.
না protected টা গন্ডগোল হলো
না না ম্যাম, প্রাইভেট টা বলছি,
প্রাইভেট আর প্রোটেক্টেড বলো protected.
It cannot be ম্যাম protected টা মনে পড়ছে না।
Protected in case of inheritance, we are using the protected concept. Protected means suppose in a base class there is a member and the member under protected access specifier. Then the child class can access the protected data member of the parent class. Okay. So okay. So access specifier in C++ are three types: private access specifier, public access specifier, and protected access specifier. When you declare any data member or member function as private, then it can be accessible from inside of the class. Public access specifier means it is accessible by all from the outside of the class, and protected only it is support in case of inheritance. The child class access the protected member of the parent class or the superclass. Now, what is constructor and how it is called? What is constructor and how it is called? You have the concept of constructor, destructor. You have created class. After creating the class, you created object. So after declaration of the class, you create the object of that class. And so when you create any object from the class, automatically constructor will be called, and without give any definition or any actually constructor called implicitly when any object is created. And when you exit from the code or exit just out of the scope of any block, then destructor will be called to destroy the object one by one. So what is constructor? What is the structure of the constructor? How to define the constructor? You anyone just explain. It is like a function but not a function. So what is constructor? কি কেউ বলতে পারছো না? কনস্ট্রাক্টর তো ইজি। কনস্ট্রাক্টর suppose class A. It is the declaration of the class. inside this class A, you can write any variables. So integer x is a data member, private data member. Inside the public access specifier, I write this A, integer A, x equal to 10. Sorry, x equal to A. Okay. And here I am declaring destructor. And here you can use any other functions. So normally when we declare any class using constructor, this is the way that you can define the constructor. So inside the class A, integer x is the data member, private data member. In the public access specifier, A is the constructor. In the next line A, within bracket, integer A, assign value of A into X. So it is another type of constructor. Constructor are different type: default constructor, parameterized constructor, copy constructor. If we are not passing any argument, then that type of constructor is called default constructor. So first of all, you have to know what is constructor. Constructor is a member function of the class having the same name as the class. It is mainly used for initializing the member of the class. By default, constructor are public. So what are the properties of constructor? The name of the constructor is same as the name of the class. There is no return type, and by default constructor are declared as public. There are different type of constructor: default constructor, parameterized constructor, and copy constructor. Default constructor means if we are not provide any argument, then it is called default argument. Parameterized constructor means we are passing either one argument or more than one argument. Then it is called parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor can be called implicitly as well as explicitly. So suppose after declaration of this class from the main function, if I write A, for this default constructor will be called. Now here I write A OB1 passing the argument 10. In this case, parameterized constructor with single argument will be called. So there are different type of constructor that we are using in our program, and this is the destructor. Destructor destroy the object that you have created to free the memory. So to define the destructor, also like constructor, there is no return type. In case name of the destructor same as the name of the class, we are passing no argument inside the destructor. And destructor, in case of destructor, we are using tilde sign. And always in a class we are using single destructor, but we can use multiple constructor in a class, but only we can use single destructor in a class. So I give you the details concept of constructor and destructor. Now I think it is clear to you. Now, what is the role of the static? What is the role of the static keyword for a class member variable? What is the role of the static keyword for a class member variable? When we are use static, actually for a class there may be member, maybe non-static or static member. So when you use static member and when are you using non-static member? Based on this concept, just give the answer. What is the role of the static keyword for a class member variable? কে বলবে? Anyone just try. You have done program using static data member and member function. For that, we are using static keyword. So what is the role of the static keyword for a class member variable? The static member variable shares a common memory across all the objects created for the respective class. We need not refer to the static member variable using an object. However, it can be accessed using the class name itself. So, how do you access static data member? We can access static data member using class scope resolution operator, then the static data member. I give you an example. Actually, already I have given that the example, that is the object count. Okay, in a program, in a class, you have created some object, then how to count the number of objects. So for this, you can use the static. Actually, static data member are member of the class, not member of any particular object. So the static member variable share a common memory across the object created for the respective classes, and it is shared by all the objects. Normally for non-static data member, that is always we have declared class, class name, opening brace, integer x, comma y, like that. That type of data member are called non-static data member. Non-static data member are the member of every object, but static data member is the member of only class. Normally, any member function, you access object name dot member function, but any static member, that is whether it is data member or member function, you can access any static data or static member function using class name, scope resolution operator, then static data member, similarly class name, scope resolution operator, then member function. Okay? Understand? Now, what is the difference between method overloading and method overriding in C++? Method overloading actually function overloading. So anyone just actually starting from the day 2 to day 2 or 3 to day 5, always every day I told you that what is function overloading. So at least tell me what is method overloading.
মেথড ওভারলোডিং হচ্ছে সেম নাম থাকবে মেথডটার, কিন্তু ডেটা টাইপ আর আর্গুমেন্ট লিস্টটা ডিফারেন্ট হবে। আর মেথড ওভাররাইডিং হচ্ছে সেম নাম থাকবে, সেম আর্গুমেন্ট লিস্টও থাকবে, খালি ওটার ডেফিনেশনটা চেঞ্জ করব।
না, method overloading is correct. Method overloading means the same function name, same but different argument list, and the type of argument list or number of argument lists different hobe. And method overriding means method overriding actually when we rewrite the method that is derived from a base class. ধরো base class এ যে মেথডটা লিখলাম, suppose in the base class you write void display method. Similarly, in the derived class, I am writing the same method, that is void display. তাহলে void display we are writing in base class, also in derived class. So in that case, method overriding happen. So method overriding is used when dealing with runtime polymorphism. Actually, method overloading, there are two types of polymorphism, compile time and runtime. So method overloading is a form of compile time polymorphism, and method overriding is used while dealing with runtime polymorphism or virtual function. Okay. Now, compile time polymorphism actually divided into two, function overloading and operator overloading. So why we are using operator overloading? Actually, in case of operator overloading, you can add between two objects, you can compare between two objects. So there are different type of operators. So why do you need operator overloading? বলো, অপারেটর ওভারলোডিং কেন ইউজ করব, মানে কনসেপ্টটা কেন এলো? Actually, operator overloading, there are different type of operator that I have discussed. That is unary operator. Unary operator means plus plus, increment operator, decrement operator, negation operator. Increment operator, again pre-increment, post-increment, similarly pre-decrement and post-decrement operator. So these are the unary operator. So using this unary operator overloading possible, and binary operator, plus, minus, division, subtraction, all those things are binary operator. For binary operator, we need two operand. x and y like that, and one operator. So x plus y, similarly x minus y. So in case of binary operator, we need two operand and one operator. And ternary operator means question mark and colon. So operator overloading, there are two types, unary operator overloading and binary operator overloading. So why do we use operator overloading? Normally, we can add any number using plus, minus, anything, not using any data type between two integer number or any floating type of number like that. But addition between two objects or subtraction between two objects or comparing between two objects, it is not possible. So using operator overloading, you can able to add between two objects. So using operator overloading, if you add object 1 with object 2, then all the members of the object 1 add with all the members of the object 2. Then it is possible to add the element and store it into another variable. That's why we are using operator overloading. Now, the question is, that is question number 12. You have to name the operators that cannot be overloaded. So what are the operators that cannot be overloaded? I give you some examples, that is the name of some operator that cannot be overloaded. Size of operator, okay? Size of operator. Dot operator. Dot operator also called membership operator. Scope resolution operator. And conditional operator. Conditional operator means question mark and colon. So size of operator, membership operator, scope resolution operator, conditional operator, these are the operators that cannot be overloaded. Now, question number 13. What is operator overload? What is polymorphism? What is polymorphism? Polymorphism is one of the most important topic, and operator overloading is a type of polymorphism. So can anyone explain what is polymorphism in details?
ম্যাম যখন অনেকগুলো ক্লাসেস রিলেটেড থাকে ইনহেরিটেন্স দিয়ে, তখন পলিমরফিজম দিয়ে আমরা একটা কোডকে রিইউজ করতে পারি কোনো একটা ফাংশন ক্রিয়েট করে, যেটা ইউজেবল হবে মাল্টিপল ইউজেসের জন্য।
সেটা বলতে পারো, বাট অ্যাকচুয়ালি হ্যাঁ, মানে কোন একটা ফাংশনকে আমরা মাল্টিপল পারপাসে ইউজ করতে পারি, ইউ আর কারেক্ট। অ্যাকচুয়ালি পলিমরফিজম means poly means many and morphism means forms. So there are two types of polymorphism. What are the types of polymorphism? Compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism, we achieve many forms by overloading. Compile time polymorphism actually two types: function overloading and operator overloading. So we achieve many forms using function by overloading. Here we have an operator overloading and function overloading that already I have discussed that what is operator overloading and what is function overloading and the type of operator overloading. And runtime polymorphism, this is the polymorphism for classes and objects. General idea of this runtime polymorphism is that there is a base class and a derived class minimum. So a base class can be inherited by a derived class, or it can be inherited by several classes. A base class pointer can point to its child class. Okay, that's why when I'm creating, I give you the concept of virtual function. In case of virtual function, just create a base class pointer which points to the child class, and a base class array can store different child class object also. So here an object reacts differently to the same function call. From this concept, just try to give the answer, that is, what is virtual function? Virtual function, actually there are two types of polymorphism: compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. So compile time polymorphism means method overloading and operator overloading, and runtime polymorphism means virtual function. So what are virtual functions? Who say? What is virtual function?
এটা একটা বেস ক্লাস মেম্বার ফাংশন হয়।
বেস ক্লাস মেম্বার ফাংশন অ্যাকচুয়ালি কি হয় ভার্চুয়াল ফাংশনে? নর্মালি ভার্চুয়াল ফাংশনে তো মেথড ওভাররাইডিং এর কনসেপ্ট আছে। মেথড ওভাররাইডিং মিন্স name of any function that you are using in the base class same as the name of that you are using in the derived class. Okay, so a virtual function allows the derived classes to replace the implementation provided by the base class whenever we have functions with the same name and data type same, number of arguments same, that is the signature of all the function same in the base class as well as in the derived class. There arises an ambiguity when we try to access the child class object using a base class pointer. As we are using a base class pointer, the function that is called is the base class function with the same name. So to correct this ambiguity, we use the keyword virtual before the function prototype in the base class. Okay, so to correct this ambiguity, we use the keyword virtual just before the function prototype inside the base class. In other words, we make this polymorphic function virtual. So by using a virtual function, we can remove the ambiguity and we can access all the child class functions correctly using a base class pointer. Okay, so it is the concept of virtual function. Now the question is, there is also the concept of pure virtual function. So pure virtual function, in case of pure virtual function, actually we do not define the virtual function here. We just declare it and assign the value 0. That is like virtual void display is the function, then display function bracket equal to 0 semicolon. Here declaring like this, it means it is a pure virtual function. Then if we use any pure virtual function inside of any class, then what is the name of this class? If we are using pure virtual function inside of any class, then what is the name of the class?
Can you repeat?
Suppose
abstract class.
yes. The question is, suppose I declare pure virtual function inside a class. Then what is the name of the class? The name of the class is abstract class. And for this class, mainly for a base class, inside the base class, if we are using the function as pure virtual functions, then we write like that. Suppose it is a class A. Then virtual void show is the function. So if you write equal to 0, so actually equal to 0 is not a value. You assign it like this, means this now acts as pure virtual function. And here A class is the abstract class, and you cannot create any object for this abstract class. Okay, we cannot any object for abstract class. Now abstract is a class, then suppose there is two derived class. So what are the other class called other than abstract class? The other class called concrete class. Concrete class. And we cannot create object for abstract class, and the other class are called concrete class. Now, what are virtual constructor or destructor? Actually, in case of constructor, you cannot create virtual constructor. It is not possible, but virtual destructor is possible. Okay, virtual destructor is possible when we use a base class pointer pointing to a derived class object and use it to destroy it. Then instead of calling the derived class destructor, the base class destructor is called. Okay, so this type of destructor is called virtual destructor, but there is no concept of virtual constructor. Now, yesterday we have done template. So what is template? What is template? Templates allow creating functions. Yesterday I give you example, that is example of constructor overloading. Constructor overloading, using constructor overloading, I want to get the size of integer number, floating type of number, and a character. So for that you have to write the code. That is, you have to write for 3 data types, 3 constructors. So it increases the program size. But without using this, using template, easily you can able to define just using writing some code. Okay, so what is template? Template allows us creating functions that are independent of data type and can take any data type as parameters and return value without having to overload the function with all the possible data type. Okay, with all the possible data type. So template actually it is nearly same as macro, but template is better than macro. That already I told you. So template allow us that mainly for generic data type we are using template. Template allow creating functions that are independent of the data type, that is generic, and can take any data type as parameters or argument and return value without having to overload the function. So here we do not need to just overload the functions or any constructor overloading. Now today you have learned the concept of STL. STL means Standard Template Library. So what is Standard Template Library? I just again repeat, the Standard Template Library is a library of container templates that we are using in C++. We have various type of STL containers depending on how they store the elements. Suppose queue and stack. In stack, you can store the data using the LIFO mechanism. Using the LIFO mechanism, it means last in, first out. So in stack, using the push function, you can enter data one by one into the stack, and the last data that you have entered, that to be deleted first. So stack follow the LIFO mechanism, that is last in, first out, and queue follow the FIFO mechanism. FIFO, F-I-F-O, that is first in, first out. First in, first out means the first element that you have entered into the queue, that to be deleted first. So this is the concept of queue. Queue may be double-ended queue. Double queue means you can insert the data from the both ends. there may be another type of container that are set and map. Actually, map means actually it is the combinations of key value pair like roll number, and if roll number is the key, then name. Suppose name of the two students may be same, but you can uniquely identify them using their roll number. So roll number is the key and value is the name. So using key value pair, we are using the concept of key value pair in map. So it is also the container. Vector. Vector means it is similar to array. For quick access, we are using vector. This vector GQ all are sequential in nature and have similarities to array. Now, which will be used with physical devices to interact from C++ program. There are 4 options, A, B, C, D. So what will be the output?
Ma'am, option C.
Correct. Stream, because for input we are using keyboard and all those things. So, and for output we display the monitor. So here we are using different type of stream classes. So output is C. It is correct. Now, the output of the following program. Number 1. Hash include IOStream using namespace std. Integer main is the function. Integer a equal to 32, comma, asterisk ptr. It holds the address of a. Character ch having the value capital A. Ampersand ch1 equal to ch. Now ch plus equal to a. Then asterisk ptr plus equal to ch. You have to print the value of a and ch. So just without doing the program, that is run the program, but try run, not use, just think logically and what are the operation done one by one. ch1 plus equal to a means ch1 equal to ch1 plus a. So what will be the output for question number 1? কেউ বলতে পারবে? Value of integer a is equal to 32. Here ptr is a pointer. Pointer holds the address of a. So ptr points to a. Char ch equal to a. That is assign capital A into ch. Then comma ampersand ch1. Ampersand ch1 means ch1 actually is a reference variable or alias equal to ch. So ch1 also points to, so ch1 always point to ch. Okay, ch1 always points to ch. So value of ch1 also 32. In the next line, ch1 plus equal to. It means ch1 equal to ch1 plus a. So value of ch1 is 32. So 32 value of a is also 32. So 32 plus 32, that is 64. Now ptr points to a. Similarly, ch, that is ch1 points, sorry, value of ch is a means 65. So 65 assigned to ch, so value of ch1 is 65, sorry. So ch1 equal to ch1 plus a. It means 65 plus 32. So 65 plus 32, that is 60, 30, 90, 97. So 97. Now the value of ch1 is 97 and ptr points to the same location. So in the next line, asterisk ptr equal plus equal to ch. It means asterisk ptr equal to asterisk ptr plus ch. Now value of ch is 65 because a, and ch1 holds 97. So 97 plus 65, that is 97 plus 65. So asterisk ptr contains that value, that is 97 plus 65. So cout, print the value of a. Value of a, actually a points to the same position where ch1 points. So value of a is what you added. So after adding all those things, you will get value of a, and ch contains a because ch is a character and value of ch is equal to 97 and 97 equal to small a. So answer will be integer value, and for ch the answer is small a. Okay. Now give the output for the second one, that is inside class A, here inside public section integer x equal to 20, and there is another class inside public section integer x equal to 10. So inside the main function ob1 and ob2 is the object, and obj1 equal to obj2. Then cout, print the value of obj1 dot x. So what will be the output of the following program? It is very easy. Just give the answer. What will be the output? Just try to give the answer. Anyone? অয়ন্তিক দেখো বলতে পারবে কিনা আউটপুট অফ দ্য ফলোইং প্রোগ্রাম।
obj1 ডট এক্স তো তাহলে ম্যাম ওই ক্লাস এর এক্সটাই প্রিন্ট হবে।
সেটা হওয়ার কথা, বাট অ্যাকচুয়ালি দেয়ার উইল বি a compile time error. Actually no output. The program will not generate output due to compilation error. কারণ in the program, in this program ধরো inside class A public colon integer x equal to 20, similarly for class B inside the main function we declare obj1 and obj2, but obj1 equal to obj2, so just you cannot directly assign obj2 into obj1. Okay, member of the obj1 and obj2 are x, but you cannot directly assign obj2 into obj1. If you write the code like that, that is obj1 dot x equal to obj2 dot x, then it is possible to assign the value of obj2 into obj1 dot x, then it is possible, and then for this program you will get an output. But without using dot x, output, that is program will not generate output for this program due to compilation error. You cannot directly assign. Using overloading, operator overloading, you can do that. Otherwise, you have to mention the members. What is the output of the following program? What is the output of the following program? Because inside the class test, open in brace, inside the public access specifier, integer marks equal to 85, and in the public access specifier test, this is a single parameterized constructor, and inside this single parameterized constructor we are using this keyword. So this arrow marks and cout endl, and inside the main function test, inside the main function we are creating a object that is t and passing parameter 95. So for this parameterized constructor will be called. So what is the output of the following program? ওকে, কেউ যদি বলতে না পারো, অ্যাকচুয়ালি অ্যান্সার marks equal to 85, and inside the main function you are passing 95. So answer may be either 85 or 95, but actual answer that you will get, that is 85. So the question is why? Here in the main function a variable, that is object, is declared, and inside this you are passing 95. So passing 95, here parameterized constructor will be called. Inside class test, the value of marks is initialized by the integer 85. In function test of the class, here I am using this pointer. This pointer always points to the current object we know. Here this pointer is used to print marks. Actually inside the class test, marks equal to 85. So for a member, any object, the data member, value of this data member is 85. So when constructor is called, inside this value of int marks, in that place value of this marks is 95, but inside this braces cout this arrow marks. Since we are using this pointer, it is used to print marks, as we know that the value of the variable marks passed by constructor is 95, but due to this pointer the value taken of the marks is the value which is initialized in the number. Instead of this arrow marks, if I write just cout insertion operator marks, then answer is 95. But in this program I am using this arrow marks. This arrow marks returns 85. So the output is 85 for this program. So this is very easy. I'm using global variable, local variable, and all those things. So anyone just give the output of the following program. Using namespace std integer x equal to 2, inside the main function integer x equal to 4, and opening brace integer x equal to 8, then print the value of x, closing brace, then print the again value of x, then using scope resolution print the value of x. So there will be 3 value of x that will be printed. Just serially, what will be the answer for first x, second x, and the number 3, that is cout scope resolution x. Just tell me the output.
Ma'am, 8, 4, and 2.
8, 4, and 2. Correct. Because integer x equal to 2 is a global. So inside the main function, integer x equal to 4. It is local variable. Now open in brace, closing brace means just value of integer x equal to 8. It is inside this block. So cout 8 for this first cout, the answer will be 8. Now closing brace of this block, when cout using the operator x, it will print the value of 4. Now using scope resolution operator, so it will print global variable, that is 2. So answer will be 8, 4, and 2. Now using namespace, there are two functions. What is the output of the following functions? Here I am using two functions. So from the main function, we have called the function. So what will be the return value? That is, we get as answer.
ম্যাম এরর হবে তো মনে হয়,
হ্যাঁ সেটাই হবে। কেন?
কারণ
Explain করে দাও।
আর্গুমেন্টটা সেম আছে, এটা ডিফারেন্ট হতে হবে।
Number of, yes, in both cases return type different but number of argument same, type of argument to same, both are integer. Suppose in the second case, if the argument are double x comma double y, then it will be okay. But in this case both are same, that is number of argument and type of argument, so you will get compile time error. So in this case function overloading not possible. So these are the some examples, and do you have any query? Because I discussed all the topics. Now give the attendance one by one. Abhijit Manna. Abhijit Manna. Abhinav Rai.
Present, ma'am.
Avinash.
Present, ma'am.
Abhirup Mukherjee. Abhirup Mukherjee. Abhishek Kumar.
Present, ma'am.
Adrija Ghoshal.
Present, ma'am.
Ornik Mishra.
Yes, ma'am.
Akanksha Singh. Akanksha Singh. Akash Bhaduri.
Present, ma'am.
Akash Shaha.
Yes, ma'am.
Alapan.
Yes, ma'am.
Amit Majhi. Amit Majhi. Ana Mali. Ana Mali.
Ma'am, Amit
Present,
Majhi
ma'am.
present.
Hello.
হ্যাঁ
Ma'am,
Amit
Akansha
present.
Singh.
Ma'am, অভিজিৎ মান্না প্রেজেন্ট ওর মাইক কাজ করছে না।
Abhijit, 1 minute. Abhijit Manna present. Abhirup present. Akanksha Singh present. Okay.
Thank you.
Anirban Banerjee.
Present, ma'am.
Anurag Banerjee.
Present, ma'am.
Anushka Rai.
Yes, ma'am.
Anushka Gayan.
Present, ma'am.
Orkodip. Orko Chakraborty.
Present, ma'am. But ওর মাইক কাজ করছে না।
Okay. Hey, what the অসীম বর্মন।
আমি ম্যাম আমি
Okay. Unmute yourself.
না অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স আসছে তো বুঝছেন বুঝলেন
Yes. Attendance.
আমি। অর্ক।
One. হ্যাঁ, অর্ককে দিয়েছি। অদ্রিজা ব্যানার্জি।
Present, ma'am.
অন্বেষ বসাক।
ইয়েস ম্যাম।
অভিক দত্ত। অভিক দত্ত। অভিনব দাস। অয়ন দাস। অয়ন দাস।
মুখটা কাজ করছে না ম্যাম অয়ন দাসের।
অয়ন রায়।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম
অয়ন্তিক দাস।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম
আয়ুষ দাস।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
তিরোহিত রাও।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
দেবাঙ্গ কাঞ্জিলাল।
ইয়েস ম্যাম।
বিবেক ঘোষ।
ম্যাম।
বিবেক ঘোষ।
ও আছে, মাইকের প্রবলেম আছে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা। দেবাঙ্গ কাঞ্জিলাল প্রেজেন্ট। দেবাঞ্জলি
Yes,
দত্ত।
ma'am.
দেবাঞ্জলি। দেবাংশী বিশ্বাস।
Present, ma'am.
ধীরান কুমার রায়।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
ধ্রুব।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম
দিগন্ত চক্রবর্তী।
Present, ma'am.
দীপান্বিতা।
Present, ma'am.
দিতা মণ্ডল। দিতা মণ্ডল।
Present, ma'am.
দিব্যাংশু কুমার।
ইয়েস ম্যাম।
দিব্যাংশু। গীতিকা পাল।
Yes, ma'am.
হর্ষ শাহ।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
হিমাংশু ধর।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
হুজেফা জোহর। হুজেফা। হিমাংশু কুমার।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
Present, ma'am.
কে হুজেফা?
ম্যাম হুজেফা প্রেজেন্ট।
ওকে। ইন্দ্রনীল।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
ঈশা সরকার।
Present, ma'am.
জ্যোতি মণ্ডল।
ইয়েস ম্যাম।
কণা বিশ্বাস।
Yes, ma'am.
কৃষাংশু দত্ত।
Present, ma'am.
লেখন বেরা।
ইয়েস ম্যাম।
মানসি। মানসি রানী।
Ma'am, she was present. She is having network problem.
ওকে। মোহাম্মদ মির্জা গালিব।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
মেঘা মণ্ডল।
Present, ma'am.
মেঘনা।
Present, ma'am.
মোহাম্মদ রাজিকু আলম। অ্যাবসেন্ট। মৌমি সাহা।
Present, ma'am.
মহসিন রেজা।
ম্যাম ও
মহসিন।
আছে, মাইকের প্রবলেম।
মৌমিতা মাইতি।
Yes, ma'am.
নয়ন
ম্যাম
চ্যাটার্জি।
নয়নের নেটওয়ার্ক প্রবলেম। ম্যাম নয়নের
আচ্ছা।
নেটওয়ার্ক প্রবলেম আছে।
নীলম। নীলম হাইতি।
Present, ma'am.
নীলকান্ত।
Yes, ma'am.
পার্থিব।
Present, ma'am.
প্রকাশ রাজ। প্রকাশ। প্রকাশ রাজ।
Present, ma'am.
হুম। প্রাঞ্জল সাহা। প্রীতম কবিরাজ।
Present, ma'am.
প্রীতম রায়।
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম
প্রিয়া ঝা।
Present, ma'am.
প্রিয়দর্শিনী সামন্ত।
Present, ma'am.
প্রিয়াংশু কুমার। প্রিয়াংশু, প্রণামী বিশ্বাস,
Present, ma'am.
রাজীব চোপওয়াল অ্যাবসেন্ট, অভিষেক কুমার,
Present, ma'am. Ma'am, Priyanshu present, ma'am.
প্রিয়াংশু। So we completed our 6-day journey. So do you have any query?
ম্যাম আজকে
Anyone?
যে ম্যাম
হ্যাঁ।
আজকে যে এক্সামটা হবে 8টার সময়, ওটা কিরম ভাবে হবে, মানে লিংকের মাধ্যমে?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ওখানে দেখো আমি দেখলাম তো, ওখানে দিয়ে দেওয়াই রয়েছে যে একটা লিংক প্রোভাইড করা হবে তোমাদের 8টার আগেই, তাহলে সেই লিংকটা তোমাদের মানে চলে যাবে মোবাইলে। এবারে সেই লিংকে ক্লিক করে তোমরা পেয়ে যাবে। ওই তো 15টা দেখলাম এমসিকিউ কোশ্চেন থাকবে। এবার টাইমিং তো 30 মিনিটস, এবার সেগুলো সলভ করে সাবমিট করে দিলেই হবে। এই চ্যাপ্টার গুলোর উপর বেস করেই থাকবে, ঠিক আছে?
আর ম্যাম এটার কোনো সার্টিফিকেট আমরা পাবো বিসিটি?
সেটা মেবি পাবে হয়তো, সেটা তাহলে মানে সেটা জিজ্ঞেস করে নেবে। জি স্যার।
ওকে ম্যাম।
Okay, so bye. I leave the meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hmm.